So all of the community members here who completed the Vasa together, and we want to also include Venerable Bhikkhu Jayasara, who's here with us and completed the Vasa on Black Mountain, just adjacent to our hermitage in Dharma Creek. And just to appreciate his also practice and completing the Vasa there, as well as all those who completed the Vasa at Aranyu Bodhi Hermitage, as well as those who did here at our Dhammadharini Monastery. So we want to include all of them, and we want to include, we have live online together with us, Venerable Bhikkhuni Anuvedita, who is in the Bavarian Alps in Germany, live with us right now, amazingly staying up overnight with us. And she was with us for the Vasa at Aranyu Bodhi, and she received her full Bhikkhuni ordination in the September full moon at Aranyu Bodhi. So we've invited her to join also in this Dhamma Talk Marathon program together. And, you know, she's not with us now because her ESTA visa waiver meant she had to leave strictly after 90 days in the United States, not able to extend. And we also have Ajahn or Ayah Brahmavahara here, Venerable Bhikkhuni Brahmavahara is also with us for a good part of the Vasa together at Aranyu Bodhi. And I think the forest misses her loving kindness. We hope she can come back again soon. We had hoped she'd be here with us for the Kathina, but U.S. immigration said no when she tried to board the plane a couple of nights ago. So they said she has to wait a few more days before she can come. So we're hoping to see her in early November, and amazingly, she is with us too. I don't know if she's managed to have any sleep or not, but she's live with us from the UK, and she's also going to be joining in our Dhamma Talk Marathon program together. And so this is not called Dhamma Talk Challenge, like a challenge grant, but so there are 3 topics which have been proposed. That those, when their name is pulled out of the alms bowl, that they will be able to choose one of 3 topics to speak about, to offer their Dhamma reflection about. And the first is Chittanupasana, mindfulness of mind and mental states, which was our focus during these last 3 months as a community together, in our practice and in our teaching. And so for whatever any one of us has experienced or contemplated or feels like they would like to share from their 3 months of practice with focus on Chittanupasana, they are invited and welcome to do so. A second topic that they're welcome to speak to, these are all and or. Second topic is the importance of Bhikkhuni Sangha. So this is also a possibility and an opportunity for anyone whose name is drawn who would like to speak about this. And if there are those here whose name is not inside here yet and you want to put your name into the bowl, then you can also do so. And then the third topic is one that actually I think we started to discuss a little bit this morning, maybe Ayah Brahmavahara and I, after the breakfast dana, having had the energy of having a great breakfast offered today, we started Dhamma discussing about the Dhamma that seems like it's important. What Dhamma is important for the situation in our world now? This is and or. So all those who have their names in the bowl, and also then including Venerable Anuvedita and Venerable Ajahn Brahmavahara, Bhikkhunis joining us from Germany, Bavarian Alps, Ananta Vihara, and also from UK, invited to speak to any one of these topics. So now comes the time where we shake up the alms bowl with the names inside. What I'm going to do, because of those sewing, is I'm going to actually pull out 2 names, and if one of them is sewing, then we'll just ask someone to give them a heads up. I think they can hear us in the gazebo, and so that they're able to get ready and come here to be ready for being up second. So now I pulled out two names. One of them is here, and the other has gone to the gazebo but not yet arrived in the gazebo. Ho ho. So, heads up, queuing up, Seminary Tavira. She will be number 2. And number 1, Anagarika Panya Vimutti. So now we'd like to invite Dhamma reflection from Anagarika Panya Vimutti, and share whatever you would like to share on any one or more of those 3 topics. And yes, there's a mic behind you. So welcome to share your thoughts on Dhamma together.
Okay.
Could you move a little further forward so you're able to be in the camera, or can we have the camera turn a little?
I have no idea whether what's
Okay, you're okay. We have tech support.
Oh, tech support. Okay.
Yes, like a guardian angel here with us. Yes, perfect. Okay.
All right. So it is very good to be here today. What I wanted to talk about was what's pertinent for the state of the world. Because what I have noticed is that you can't hide from it. It's become very pressing, and it's present everywhere in our world, whether or not you listen to the media, you talk to people, even just if you are in meditation with your own mind, the energy of the time actually pervades your experience. And it's like a very, very fast-moving stream. So the primary thing that I've really been working with is just seeing things as anicca and not clinging to wanting them to be this way or that way. And it's so difficult. Like, even if we can do that for a period of time, then things change. And the circumstance comes up that I either grab onto, I push away, and then there I am, like pulled under. And I'm under the stream, and the water's rushing, and I'm disoriented. And the mind that seemed like I had it a little bit tamed starts to have lots of complaints. So, what is it that allows that to change? What's the medicine? Because that does seem to happen over and over again, and knowing the medicine is really the key. So, one way of looking at it is that slowing down internally. You can't slow the external down. You can back up a little so that it doesn't run you over. But the external, the world, and samsara, and the just the time that we're in. We're in a very intense time. It is going to keep going. And it's very, it's like looking at a pit, and the people are like grasping out of the pit, and they're saying, save me, and if you hold on to one of those people, you get sucked in. So being able to slow down internally, where you can actually see the immediate cause of being pulled under. What was the immediate cause of dukkha arising? And if you can see into that, then you have a chance actually to really look into it and see what the nature of it is. And so one of the things we've been working with a lot has been this Brahmavahara practice, particularly doing metta. And sometimes there's some preliminary work you have to do before you can utilize your metta once you've gotten sucked down. And you have to learn what are the conditions that actually help you to get balanced enough to actually utilize that. And just in this quiet, just like the pause that just happened. So it's the pause for going internally, it's the pause for seeing what's really happening in my mind, and to reorient, and maybe the complaints that are going through the mind just need some taming. And so if you're complaining about a person, then it's, well, what good thoughts can I have about this person? What wholesome deeds are they doing? What joy do they bring to the world? How can I celebrate knowing them? And so being able to be in a different place, and then that actually can deliver you into a space where your mind can settle into concentration, and where insight and wisdom can arise. So that's just one of the areas that I've been working with, and it's very timely for me right now, because a lot of things are changing right now in my life in one way. And another way, the mind, it's just with you whatever's going on. If you're here, if you're there, if you're sick, if you're not sick, if you're called this, you're called that. The mind is still that same mind that we were working with, and yet that same mind is also changing all the time. So I just offer this as a reflection on how to work with the time. And it seems, in some ways this is very common, Dhamma. But actually it's really important Dhamma, because this is actually what feeds the path, is being able to develop wholesome mind and then be able to really walk the path. So sadhu, 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 anumodami. Anumodhana to Anagarika Panyaviti for sharing her Dhamma reflection on the Dhamma needed in the world now. And
I had announced that Samaneri Tavira's name was drawn and she was coming up, but we have Venerable Bhikkhu Jayasara here who needs to be departing imminently. And so we just received that word and found out that yes, he does have a few minutes left before he needs to depart to be able to share Dhamma reflection, a few words of Dhamma with us now before departing. He's, I think this is his third Kathina in the last few days, and he's going down south to the Santa Cruz Mountains, Boulder Creek area to the Karuna Buddhist Vihar's hermitage. So we invite his thoughts, words of Dhamma sharing before his departing, with much appreciation for his practice during this Vasa time. That's been a blessing for all of us, and interested to hear his thoughts of Dhamma. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. So, am I being heard?
Yes.
All good?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know here.
Oh, yeah. Well,
all right, very good. So, the topic is going to be about the importance of bhikkhunis. So, interestingly enough, when I came to California for the first time since I was a child, back in 2018, for the Western Buddhist Monastic Conference, I walked into the room and I saw all these women in robes, and I said, "Whoa, bhikkhunis!" Because I had never seen one before in person. Right at Bhavana Society, where I was ordained, when I was visiting before, I saw an ordination, and there was a bhikkhuni from Germany who came, who I believe Bhante Ji was part of ordaining, and so she came to the ordination of Bhante Mangala, who was a monk who ordained at Bhavana before me, and I said, "Oh," and so I saw this bhikkhuni in the distance, but it was such a wonderful thing to come to this Western Buddhist Monastic Conference and to see. I said, "Oh, this is amazing," right? Because, you know, at Bhavana Society for many years it was both bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, but by the time I got there it wasn't anymore. And so we would do retreats, and the women would come and they would say, "Bhante, where are the bhikkhunis?" And I said, "I guess they're all in California." Right? So, you know, and that was actually kind of sad to me, right? That, I mean, I'm very happy that California is such a wonderful place for bhikkhunis, but like I thought of the women, you know, back on the East Coast, and of course I found out about then later Ayasudina and Ayasudhamma, and that there are bhikkhunis on the East Coast. But, and so I thought, you know, one of the things that I said when I got to speak at the end of this Western Buddhist Monastic Conference was the importance of the Fourfold Assembly, right? The Fourfold Assembly, bhikkhunis and bhikkhus, women and men, laity, right? The Buddha is very, very clear that without this, Buddhism does not exist anymore. Buddhism does not thrive. Right? So I thought about those words when I was at that conference, and I got to see 40, 50 bhikkhus and bhikshus and bhikkhunis and bhikshunis, and I was like, this is wonderful. I really, that was such an experience for me to see this. And I said, they do exist. They're out there, right? And so, 2020, Tataloka invited me to come for Vasa. But I didn't come last year, and I wanted to see if this year would work, and it worked out, and I appreciate that I was able to come and spend the Vasa with this wonderful community here. I learned a lot, and it's much appreciated. You know, it's one of those things where I wanted to, and I was able to be immersed in, you know, something that I was not familiar with. right? Something that I had very little experience with as a layperson and now as a monastic, right? To see how the the modern bhikkhunis that have come alive in the world again, to see how they live and to learn from them and to be with them, and even after I left here a week and a half ago, I've continued my tour. I went to Karuna Buddhist Vihara, where I've been for a week, and will be for another week. And yesterday we were at Aloka Vihara, so I've done 3 Kathinas, right? And it was wonderful to see how the different communities are, and to see, just like the bhikkhu communities, each bhikkhu community can be different, even if they're from the same tradition, and to see how these different ways of living and thriving as a bhikkhuni in the world can be as well. So it's so important. This is, one of the things that for me, the Dhamma was so important to me, so beneficial to me, that I want to see it thrive in America so much. Like, I really want to see more monasteries, more monastics, more places, because I know people from online, being online many years, that are in various places in the country, and they don't have any monastics or Buddhist places or anything near them. So I have this feeling that I want to see more, right? And so when I get to visit places like this, to come out here and I say, okay, this is a very good start. There needs to be more bhikkhus and more bhikkhunis in the middle of the country too, right? Everywhere. Spread out, more places, so the Dhamma can be seen and heard by people who have little dust in their eyes, no matter where they are, right? Not just on the East Coast and the West Coast. Of course, that's where most of the people are in the country, sure. But this is a very important thing for me to see. I want to see the Fourfold Assembly thrive in America, right? This country that I grew up in, and that my parents and my family came to, for a better life and things like that from other countries. And so it's wonderful for me to see this community and to be with you all, and I appreciate all that, you've all taken very good care of me, and thankfully I've heard that I wasn't too much of a pain in the butt for them, which I'm very happy about. I strive to not be, so that's good. And so I guess that's what, the importance of bhikkhunis is that they are 1/4 of the Dhamma surviving and thriving and existing, right? So that we can pass down this Dhamma for people way in the future, right? Our great grandkids, or great grand bhikkhus and bhikkhunis that we've ordained, right, and that we've passed on the torch to. So I guess that's what I'll say, and I'm happy to see this community is doing well and thriving, and I'll definitely be back. So thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
Sad, Anumodami. Thank you very much, Bhante, and we want to wish you every good blessing in your travels down south, and then also back up north to Abhayagiri Monastery, our brother monastery up north in Mendocino County, which we heard is your next stop on your travels, on your great Dhamma Sangha tour, after your 5th vasa as a bhikkhu. Just anumodana for everything well practiced during this time, every good blessing on your path. And I'll announce that then Seminary Tavira is going to be up next, and then I'm about to draw the next name to see who we're queuing up. Oh. We're queuing up after that. So, Bhante, Anumodana, go safe, go well, and Mala also, every good blessing. Glad to see you, and well done, Well done. This is sadhu sadhu.